The NBA just made a huge mistake as the Pelicans dropped their home opener against the San Antonio Spurs in overtime last night. And I'm going to give you details on what that big mistake was and also give you a recap on what I saw last night at the Smoothie King Center inside this edition of Pelicans Digest. What's good with it, y'all? It's your people, Melz On The MIC, back once again inside Pelicans Digest. Does my voice sound weird? I was screaming and yelling last night. I was in the Smoothie King Center with my fellow Pels fans for the home opener, and it was a great time, man. And once again, thank you so much to everybody that came up to me during the game and was showing me love and just saying, hey, we watched the channel, we love it. Thank you so much for what you do. Thank you for subscribing and liking Pelicans Digest. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you haven't done it yet. Like this channel, share it with your fellow Pels fans, and also get the best analysis, opinions, and more from a real Pels fan who's actually in the building at the games, watching the game, taking notes. This is what I do right here on Pelicans Digest. It's Melz talking about those Pels. And last night, close matchup, man. The Pels dropped another close one against the San Antonio Spurs, a game that, again, I said that a team that is not only stacked with Victor Wembanyama and also with Castle, back-to-back Rookie of the Years on that squad. Pels dropped 120 to 116. And listen, man, when you're in the heat of the moment of the game last night, you won't fire everybody, and then when you got to sit down and look back at game tape and and analyze some things, you start to see that you can feel good about this Pelicans team as long as they learn from these mistakes now, okay? As long as they learn from these mistakes now. Because the next time you play these guys, there should be no excuses, especially if you are at full strength. Of course, the big weaknesses with this team continues to be that you had no big play. You have no bigs. And San Antonio took full advantage last night as Luke Cornett looked like a damn all-star on side of Wembyama as they ran a double big lineup most of the game. And the Pelicans had to counter that with an undersized lineup for the most part. But there were still some good things to take away from this game. And also the NBA also screwed us as well. And I'm going to give you the details of what the huge mistake was that they made last night. But first, let's get into the particulars of the game last night. Zion Williamson, again, another monster night. It's so good to have him back healthy, and we hope he continues to maintain this, man. 27 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists. Again, we know Zion's going to do his numbers, man. That's why I don't talk too heavy about him. I don't talk too heavy about him. Continues to continues to have some issues with rebounding, and that's fine. But I also would like to see him work on that mid-range. If he can get that mid-range floater that he's been working on down, that's going to be dangerous, man. That's going to be a great weapon, in my opinion, for his arsenal. That way he can limit the wear and tear and trying to fight and beg for fouls. That's another thing that happens with Zion. They never call fouls on Zion. Zion can get slapped, choked, punched. Don't matter. They're not going to call it. They're not going to call it. They act like he's Shaquille O'Neal. You should be able to take a big man, go. And that's frustrating as well to have to deal with. If he can perfect that sort of mid-range in the key shot, that could save him some wear and tear. And also, probably send him to the line some more. You never know. Trey Murphy also had a great bounce-back game. 24 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists as well. And we said no need to worry about Trey. While he was the problem that we lost that game the first night against Memphis, his bounce back was incredible last night. It was great to see that back in action. It felt really good. But I ain't gonna complain about that. I was watching some video last night that I took, and I started to watch it closely, and I broke it down, and I was kind of frustrated by what I saw, because there are moments where I see Trey not really hustling. He's like jogging over. Like on back cuts, he's jogging over there, and Herb may be having trouble with the ball or something like that when he's bringing it up the court, and he can't get open or something like that, and Trey would just jog over. If he would have hustled over to I'm not going to get into particulars on that. I'm just glad Trey Murphy bounced back. Another takeaway you can feel good about is that Derik Queen is progressing well. Despite the fact that they are throwing this kid out into the fire in the 5 position, that's why Luke Cornett was able to cook a lot of the game. That's why I love it, and also get a lot of lob pass. And let me say this, and I'm going to say this. One of the reasons why if you don't have any bigs, One of the reasons why the Pels are getting so scored on and so easily in the paint, and it's not because you don't have any bigs, it's because your guards are not doing their job as far as stopping them up and getting them before they come into the lane. And we're going to talk about that in a few as well. We're going to get into that as well. But DQ, Derik Queen, is slowly getting there as he gets thrown into the fire. And he's progressing very well. He's progressing very well, in my opinion. Queen finished the night with 15 points, 6 rebounds, 1 assist, and just 1 turnover. Just 1 turnover. Massive improvement. For a prospect like Queen, who is expected to come into the league as a below-average rim protector, he looked excellent defensively last night. He was getting high contest and doing a great job as a weak-side help defender, which led to him recording 1 steal and 2 blocks. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, I did see that last night. Now, of course, there were moments where, he would get lost or they couldn't execute the screening rule properly because he wasn't screening properly, and that's something that he's going to continue to learn. That's something that continue to learn. Also, that quote was courtesy of Chris Lambert from Pelicans The Brief. I'm sorry I didn't credit you, but big shout out to Chris Lambert. But his offense is there. His offensive game is like I said, is why you would have to try to start letting this kid play now, because his offensive game is getting better. Plus, he didn't turn over the ball, but just 1 time. That's very good, very encouraging to see Derik Queen as he continues to develop through the fire. Jeremiah Fears had a sort of not too much of a good night, but it was still a decent night for him as well. So no rookies from no worries from me from these rookies. All right, no worries from me from these rookies. But last night again, another situation presented itself where if you have at least one of your starting 5 contributing on the offense, you could probably still win this game. In the game against Memphis, it was Trey Murphy who wasn't contributing that much that we lost this game. Last night, Herb Jones laid a total goose egg on us in the scoring column. 0 points. Not a single point scored. He had 7 rebounds. He had a couple of assists, but he couldn't get it going. Can I please get a night where all 5 of my Pelican starters are scoring well? It's always he's like 4 going to do right. One's going to have it all tonight. And so don't get upset when it comes early in the season that, Trey and Zion have a good night and Herb just couldn't score. Couldn't get nothing going, man. And again, if you have Herb score at least what his normal rate would be, maybe even 10, 15, 20 points at least, maybe 10, even 10, we can still win this game possibly, So again, nothing. I ain't gonna complain too much about last night. But I will point out that this team continues to struggle on transition defense. I don't know what it is with this team getting back down the court, but they still continue to struggle with transition defense, getting back, and also, like I said before, the guard defense. One of the reasons why these bigs are able to attack or maybe they're able to score so many of the points. And also Castle was getting past just about everybody and being able to score. Pardon my Bell's palsy. I'm almost well, by the way. It's because the guards are failing to stop these guys before they get into the paint. Once they drive around one of the guards, the bigs got to step up and try to help whoever that big is at that 5 at that moment, be it Zion, be it Queen, whoever they may put at the 5, got to move up into the paint to try to stop this guy, and now you don't open up that backdoor cut for the bigs. And San Antonio was exploiting that all night long. And you couldn't put it on the bigs because you don't have any bigs. You can't say, it's the bigs' fault. It's whoever's that big at the 5. You can't say that because you don't have anybody that really plays true 5 on this court right now outside of Queen. So you got to deal with that. If you're going to deal with that, you got to find a way to sort of hide the fact that you don't have a big, especially as these teams continue to roll out these 2 big lineups on us, especially in these upcoming games. But, as normal, which I saw last night as well, you can't touch Victor Wembanyama. Yeah, he's 7'4", 7'5", but if you touch him, you're going to get a whistle, okay? Let's be clear here. You're going to get a whistle if you touch him. And I saw this game just officiated terribly last night. It was infuriating to see this officiating last night and, wake up this morning just not even an hour ago. the NBA came out with its last 2-minute report, and they admitted that they made a huge mistake in overtime last night against the Pelicans. Here's what's happened. One of the plays in overtime, the Spurs inbounded the ball to Harrison Barnes. Now, this is coming off the play where Jeremiah Fears, on the second to last play of the game, Jeremiah Fears stole the ball, got a quick 2 points. Then the Spurs inbounded the ball to Harrison Barnes. But Jordan Poole was able to come around and smack the ball off his leg and out of bounds. Instead of it being the Pelicans' ball, down by 2, with just about 2 seconds left, the officials called a foul on Poole to send Barnes to the free throw line, effectively ending the game. Okay? And I got this play. I literally had this play on my video on the phone. It just had a bad angle, and I might still post it. But the NBA today came out with this stupid last 2-minute report and pretty much said they admitted that it should not have been called a foul on Jordan Poole. Poole makes clean contact with the ball and dislodges it away from Barnes prior to incidental contact occurring with Barnes' wrist thereafter. The NBA commented on the incorrect call. So basically, the NBA say they got that wrong. They shouldn't have sent Barnes to the free throw line, and the Pelicans lose the game by 4 points, eventually ended the game. And you see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? That was the frustrating part. We saw this live, and of course, your coach Willie Green doesn't have this challenge. Doesn't have any more challenge because he challenged the play earlier in the game, which I didn't think that was that crucial for him to be challenging with Derik Queen knocking the ball. A similar play, where Derik Queen knocked the ball out of somebody's hand and they called a foul on him. And the referee literally says, while Queen makes contact with the ball and does knock the ball out of his hand, as he's coming down, he swipes the hand of the offensive player, and that makes it a foul. And it was like, okay, okay, this is what we're doing tonight. We're gonna be goofy like this tonight with these referees. And now you come out with this last 2-minute report admitting that you made a huge mistake in the game, which cost us a chance to possibly go win this game. At that point, again, the Pelicans were only down 2. And, had they got the ball back, who knows what could have happened. All I know was the blender was rocking. The blender was rocking. We was on top of it when we saw that. And then when you came to the realization that you ain't got no challenges because you wasted your challenge on something earlier, you just went, and got to deal with it. Again, there's still some positives to take away from this team. Zion's still beasting. Trey's still beasting. Can I get just one night where all 5 of my guys are good offensively, but also get better on this transition defense, getting back down on the floor? And please hurry up and get back healthy, man. We need it, man. But what are your thoughts on what you saw last night against the Spurs? I don't see no reason to panic. We still got 80 games to go. You can learn from these mistakes. Let's get them out the way early. Because there were expected to be chemistry issues. You're seeing them, but we still got a lot of time to fix this stuff as we get ready to go against, I think, Brooklyn on Monday night. What are your thoughts on the Pelicans right now, the state of the team? What did you see last night that you liked, that you didn't like? Clap back in the comments and hit that subscribe button here on Pelicans Digest. It's Melz talking about those Pels. I'll catch you next time.